Hi Scorpio, welcome to your mid-July 2020 General Tarot Update. It's Rena here, and I'm working with the Wild Unknown Tarot deck this month, or this time. Not for the whole month, this is for this period of time. And I keep saying this every time that I use this deck. I really love the drawings for the most part. Some of them are kind of creepy, but even those are well done. But one thing I really like is that there are different colors. There's some black and white, but there are also colors. And that gives for more variety. When you're looking at the spread, from what you can see, I should say, it can be much more a variety so that you're able, okay, 2 cards came out, so I'm going to use them both. Okay. So the heart of the matter is the Judgment card, and actually this card, if I'm not mistaken, is connected with Pluto, one of your rulers. I wonder if that's supposed to be an eagle, and oh no, it looks like a dove actually. Now, the Judgment card is number 20, and I'm thinking of the number 2. I was really surprised to learn that the number 2 is a spiritual number. I just thought of it as relationship related, but it's actually also a number associated with spirituality. Maybe that's why the High Priestess is number 2, and now we have the Judgment card, and it's kind of like an ascension the way that the picture depicts it. And really, Pluto is about rising from the ashes, and this is a story of Scorpio's life, of like maybe having valleys, peaks and valleys, and there's like an extreme quality with your sign where it seems like you want to live at the edge. So if that means that you have to come crashing down, so be it, because then you can make your latest resurrection, if you will. And so where is this area of rebirth in your life, Scorpio? Where are you witnessing this? And what does this suggest? You may be celebrating your judgment. You may feel like you made the call and it was a right call, and you're like, thank God I made that call. I could be somewhere else. This could be something bad could have really happened if I hadn't done this. If I hadn't really admitted this to myself and taken action. In the past position, we have the Temperance card. This is associated with Sagittarius. Maybe it has something to do with that eclipse that was in Sag. Maybe it's a timing card of when all of this came down. Now, one of the things that this can represent, the Temperance can be about sobriety. It's funny, I don't always get that in some of in the books when they're interpreting it. I don't know, I should check. I wish I had one in front of me where I could kind of double check that. But I always think of that where if I get that card in reverse, I think of people with addiction issues. So this can be about sobriety and learning and doing this in the nick of time. And now you are coming out of that, and you're able to say, thank God I did this. Thank God I nipped this in the bud, because this could have been an absolute disaster. Sometimes the Temperance card can indicate that another person is suffering from addiction, or it could even be, in my feeling, it can also be a person who has mental imbalance. So, for instance, bipolar disorder. I want to state that, I want to state that I know some of these people are trolls, or shills, but I'm not claiming to be a mental health expert, and I'm not diagnosing anybody. There's nobody to diagnose. We know when people tend to be quite extreme in their personality traits, when they become very manic, when they become very depressed, and how they act, how they go from one extreme to the other, and how that affects their life, how it destroys their life, and how it destroys other people's lives. Impacts, negatively, I shouldn't say destroys, but impacts it adversely. And this could even be people in your a person in your family, a parent even. And the Judgment card in connection to that, if the Temperance card is a different person, it's understanding that it's not going to get better on your end. In other words, you can't control somebody else's issues in this regard, their imbalances. They have to do that for themselves. And sometimes it can be wrenching because obviously we want to help people. And Scorpio is no different in this regard. And you love people. People who have these challenges are not bad people, but they may do things that are either injurious to themselves or other people and create chaos around them. And this is one of the things where you may have had to say, I love this person, but I can't do this any longer. Because it's too, it creates too much chaos in my life. The higher message is the Three of Cups. I have to say that out of all the illustrations, this is in my top 5, if not 3. And I just love this card. I love the colors. I love, the sun, the way that they made the sun. And so the Three of Cups is a card of celebration, of social bonding. And so my feeling is that if you have been dealing with somebody in your life, and again, this does not have to be simply a romantic relationship. This can be like in any area, including family issues. And you may have not been telling people around you. You're a very private person. That's a given, Scorpio, that you don't necessarily like to tell people your business. But on top of that, you're also, I think you're a very proud person because you value power in yourself and others, and you don't want to appear vulnerable. So when you're having problems, that might be the very time that you keep to yourself. And yet, in this particular case, even if you have been experiencing something that is where you feel like you made the right call, and you're in a celebratory mood, and you might now tell everyone about it because you've come out the other end. And I totally get that. I have my sun in the 8th house. Probably why I am so secretive with how I do things on YouTube. I'm like paranoid about I can't reveal my identity or something like that. It's just like innate, and I'm a pretty open person in a lot of ways, but just in terms of that aspect. So, and I'm like that too when it comes to wanting to just solve my own problems, and I think that a lot of Scorpios are like this. And when you come out the other end, you can be like, okay, now I can tell them all the hell I've been through. I was going to say SH I've been through. And another thing too is that the Judgment card could be a legal judgment. So obviously we could be talking about a divorce. And again, you might have been keeping that business to yourself. Pride, not wanting other people to be talking about you, and not wanting it to just be, common knowledge, being very private about it, but now celebrating with other people, reaching out. If you do that, they may tell you, why didn't you let us know? we would have had your back. But you may not be able to explain why that is. And when I say pride, I don't mean that in a bad way. I actually mean that in a good way. I think it's admirable when people try to solve their own problems. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's being independent. But sometimes people have a lot on their plate, a lot to bear, and they probably could have leaned a little bit on their friends. And their friends would have been right there for them, because you are a very strong person, Scorpio. And it's highly possible that you are other people's rock when they need someone to hold space for them. And I cringe every time I say that because it sounds so hippy-dippy, but I guess it makes sense in a lot of ways, that expression. It just, I don't know. But I said it. What crosses you is the Son of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. I've been getting this card over and over again. I almost feel like leaving it out of the deck for the rest of these readings so I don't keep drawing it. Not that it's a bad card, I like variety. But you got in the challenge position. And I would say that if the Judgment card connects to somebody that you were involved with, maybe romantically, that you have to exert better judgment this time forward, because you have to know what is your weak link, or what is that type of person that you tend to be attracted to. And it might be that Knight of Wands. Oh, it's funny because the Knight of Wands is connected to Sag, and I told you the Temperance was. So maybe Sagittarians, that's my sun sign, maybe they're not the type of people that you necessarily should be with, but I don't like to say that because everybody's different. Not all Sages are created the same. And one reason that you might be attracted to Sag is because you may have inner planets in Sagittarius, like for instance Venus and or Mars, and that could certainly make you attracted to that type of person, which is very freewheeling. The Knight of Wands is somebody who kind of takes life as it comes, has commitment issues, I'm not going to lie. And if it's in the challenge position, you know that this is like a big deal. And they may be, up for a good time, but when it comes to nitty gritty, which, with Scorpio is going to be, okay, when are you going to be my possession? And I'm being slightly facetious. That would be more Taurus, your opposite sign. But I think that Scorpios in general want commitment, and they're going to be nervous if the other person is kind of dragging their feet. So that kind of thing can be kind of like a push-pull between these two signs, and it can lead to this feeling of like making you, on your part, of being even more like obsessed with, making this person slow down or commit, and they may be, this is another thing too, is like, let's say that you're in the process of getting divorced. Your first inclination might be, hey, I'm not looking for a committed relationship. I'm going to sow my wild oats. And guess who you're going to come across? This kind of person who's permanently on a mission to sow their wild oats. And you may think you can just have a good time, but little do you know that you're going to get in too deep. It's going to be the typical scenario, and then you're going to be like, why does this happen to me? Well, because you have that tendency to be looking for, being attracted to something that is really not at your core who you are. What's coming in is represented by the Three of Swords. I've been getting this card over and over again too. And although this is a card of heartbreak and rejection sometimes, I think that you're in the driver's seat, Scorpio. So I think this is the other interpretation, which is a card of the surgeon's knife, just like clean break. No back and forth with an ex. If you've gotten divorced, if you're waiting for that, proclamation, if you will, then that should be it. And yet you may feel that temptation to keep it going. There was something else that I was going to say. Well, they do say that the Three of Swords is connected to heart surgery, so maybe some of you have already planned for something like this, and that's indicating that as well. The outcome, 2 cards came out, both of them very good for financial affairs or, career. The Three of Wands, which is a card of expansion, but in personal affairs, it's like, that's more fire energy. The other fire signs are Aries and Leo. Leo is one. If you're interested in the kind of the dynamic between Leo and Sag love, I did an audio of that. It's on my channel. You can check that out. But just the general feeling of expansion, of, the Three of Wands might connect to Sag, too. I don't know. But it's a card of expansion, and Sagittarius rules the 9th house because of its ruler Jupiter, which is about expansion. But fire energy in general is like this. And it's really great because, at least according to Abraham Hicks, the purpose of life is expansion, which makes perfect sense when you think about what it is that we tend to do. We tend to do certain things, and then we say, been there, done that, whether it's a type of career that we go into, and then we go into a different career, and we want to do something different. And that makes life more meaningful, because we're not just kind of in that zombie mode of just like over and over again. So looking at it from that angle is very interesting. And then I got, along with that, the Seven of Pentacles, which is this is a brilliant depiction of that. You see the pentacles, which relate to material matters, the progress, the upward climb. This is a card of, if you have started some kind of endeavor, you're waiting to see if it's going to manifest in an obvious way, in a way that's going to benefit you. So it's about having patience in whatever it is that you've started to see the results through. And that can include relationships too, where you're not just, involved with somebody and you just cut it off as soon as you get a little bit bored. But you see, hey, maybe this is what I need. Maybe I'm so attracted to the bad boys and I need somebody that is grounding. And certainly with the Seven of Pentacles, that type of person is going to be that way. So you're talking with earth signs, you're talking about Taurus, your opposite sign, Virgo and Capricorn. If that makes sense to you, if you're dealing with anybody or you know anybody like that who you think you could be in a relationship with, then that's possible. But just any kind of endeavor that you're doing, to give it enough time to blossom. Okay, that's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you'd like a personal reading, the link is below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.